They said, "We have no expectations from you." I smiled and lowered my head, then placed the old photograph in front of everyone. A complete silence filled the room. Only one voice broke it. "How do you have this picture?" I didn't answer. Silence was enough. A few weeks ago, when I took the first step toward the biggest decision of my life, no one understood me. The people who had always been behind me never wanted me to achieve anything greater. It was always the same old stories, the same old words. People like, "You can never make it," or "Your destiny is only to do what your parents taught you every day." I listened to these things, hiding my deep emotions inside. I knew something was wrong. But the mistake wasn't mine, it was theirs. They didn't understand my strength. I was living an ordinary life. I lived in a small suburb where every day was the same. My daily life was no different from that of people my age. Worries about 401k student loan payments, and dealing with small moments that were far from the fake glamour of Instagram. That was when I made a plan. A plan that would change my life. My intention wasn't revenge. It was a principle I had promised myself. The principle was that I would do something for myself, for my future. This was my reality. Long working hours, a modest income, and a constant burden that always weighed on my life. But I decided that all of this needed to change. I completely shifted my mindset in a matter of months. Some people say life is a game and every game has rules. But the rules of the game only matter as long as you abide by them. I created new rules for this game. And I played it in such a way that no one even suspected what was happening. One day, when everything in my life seemed to be at a standstill, I took the step that was the hardest for me. I had to show the people who had always been against me that I was much more than their expectations. I gathered all my efforts into one photograph. A photograph that would become a question for them. And then the moment came. I placed that photograph in front of them. "How do you have this picture?" The question didn't need an answer. Because the silence had already said everything. The photograph was an old, memorable moment. A moment I had created myself. A moment that told me that I could do whatever I wanted. A moment in which I had reshaped my life. And now those people who had never understood me were asking this very question. It was a game, but a game in which I decided to play by my own rules. And that was the moment that changed my life. There was no anger, no fighting in my revenge. It was simply a move, a strategy whose sole purpose was for me to create my own fate. And the people who had always been against me now knew who I was. Something they could never understand. For me, it wasn't revenge. It was a way to prove myself. And it was all within the boundaries of the law. No one could point a finger, yet everyone knew what I had done and why I had done it. This is the story of a successful game where every move was well thought out, and in the end I took my fate into my own hands. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring content. Your support means the world to us. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and remember, your fate is in your hands just like mine. Keep pushing forward, and I'll see you in the next video.